Solomon's Wisdom, based on the book of 1 Kings chapter 1, 3, and 5 through 8, and 2 Chronicles chapters 2 through 7.
Years pass, and David grows old. Finally, word spreads throughout Jerusalem that the king's health is failing fast. The people know that David has chosen Solomon to be king and to build the temple of God. Solomon rides his father's mule to the spring of Gihon, and there Solomon is anointed king of Israel. The trumpet sounds.
Long life to King Solomon!
Benaiah leads his new king to the city, where the people greet him with shouts of joy.
God bless King Solomon!
Solomon takes 3 immediate actions to solidify the status of his kingdom. These 3 steps will mark the rest of his rule. First, to cement an alliance with Egypt, Solomon takes Pharaoh's daughter as a wife. Then, since his father David had not been allowed to build a temple for God, Solomon makes plans for a temple that will be a fitting house for the Creator of the universe. Finally, he goes to the altar at Gibeon to make sacrifices and seek God's blessing. There he prays to God at the altar all night long. That night, Solomon has a dream.
What would you ask of me, son of my servant David?
Divine King, I would only ask for a wise heart to help me govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong.
You could have asked for riches, long life, or the deaths of your enemies. Instead, you asked for wisdom, so I will give you what you asked for. You will have wisdom like no man before you. But I will also give you what you did not ask for. You will have riches and honor like no king before you. And if you follow my commands, I will grant you long life.
When Solomon wakes up at the altar the next morning, he praises the Lord for promising him such great blessings. He prays that God will help him use his wisdom to help his people. Soon afterward, God gives him the opportunity to test his wisdom. 2 poor women each had a baby at the same time. One mother's baby had died, and now she claims the other baby as her own. But nobody knows who the real mother is.
It's my baby!
No! Hers is the one that died!
Well, since we have no way to tell who's lying, there's only one thing to do. They'll have to share the baby. Bring me a sword. 1/2 for each of you!
No, don't! Just give the baby to the other woman.
That's what I wanted to know. The true mother would rather lose her child to another than let him be killed. Take your baby back and be happy.
When the people of Israel hear how Solomon found the true mother, they are in awe because they know he spoke with God's wisdom. The people are happy. Israel is at peace. Solomon has established good relationships with many neighboring countries. Rulers of the countries David had conquered pay tribute money to Solomon's treasury. So begins the Golden Age of Israel. To launch his first great building project, Solomon sends a messenger to his father's old friend, King Hiram of Tyre.
King Solomon sends his greetings and asks if you will send him your renowned cedar and cypress trees for lumber so that he can build a temple to God in Jerusalem.
Blessed be the Lord for giving my friend David such a wise son. Tell your king I will give him what he asks for in exchange for wheat and oil, which our country needs.
The 2 kings make a deal. Soon men by the thousands are working in the forests of Lebanon, cutting cedar trees for Solomon's temple. Near Jerusalem, thousands of men toil in great quarries, chiseling out the huge stone blocks needed for the foundation and walls of God's temple. The finest masons work on each piece so that every stone block will fit together perfectly. The cedars of Lebanon, the finest wood known to man, are shipped from Tyre. Some logs are carved into huge pillars, while others are set into place for the roof. Next, bronze is used for the metalwork. Meanwhile, the finest gold craftsmen in the land are working on all the furniture and necessities for the temple. Solomon's wish is to have all of God's temple gleam with gold. After 7 long years of hard work, the magnificent temple of God is completed. Men, women, and children from all corners of Israel crowd into Jerusalem to watch the priests carry the sacred ark into the temple. Inside, in the Holy of Holies, a dark, windowless, heavily curtained room, the ark is carefully placed beneath the protecting wings of 2 15-foot cherubim. Then, before all the people in Israel, Solomon kneels in prayer.
Lord, there is no God like you. Forgive and guide your people the way you guided Moses, who brought us out of slavery in Egypt.
And Solomon reigned for 40 years.